Okay, today we will start the another phase shifting technique called as quadri phase shift keying, or it is also called as QPSK. In the standard form, it would be called as QPSK. So Q refers to quadri. Quadri means it indicates four. What does this four represents? What exactly the four with respect to this is? There are four types of symbols you can use, or in this system here you are going to use four different symbols. So the symbols are as shown in the table: 1 0, 0 0, 0 1 and 1 1. So it contains two bits, so this symbol is also called as debit. So 1 0 is called as a debit, 0 0 is another debit, 0 1 is another debit, 1 1 is another debit. So pair of these bits is referred to as a debit, or it is simply called as a symbol. For each, there since there are four symbols, for each and every symbol you will be assigned with, or you will not, or it will be assigned with a particular signal. So what is the difference? The difference is the phase of the signal. For symbol 1 0, what would be the phase of the signal? The phase of the carrier signal is pi by 4. For symbol 0 0, what would be the phase associated? The associated phase would be 3 pi by 4. For symbol 0 1, the phase would be 5 pi by 4. For symbol 1 1, the phase would be 7 pi by 4. For that fashion, the equation has been written as follows. Considering this table, the equation is written as follows: Si of t is equal to, the signal is of not infinite duration, it is of finite duration, or an energy signal with finite duration, 0 to tb. After tb you cannot you cannot find out the signal. Here, instead of tb, we need to write this as t. So here we should not write it as tb, it has been mistakenly written. It should be written as t. Why t? Because what does tb represents? It represents the bit duration. TB refers to bit duration, but over here we are supposed to use T. Why we are supposed to use T? Because we are bothered about the symbols. So therefore, here you should write 0 less than or equal to T, less than or equal to capital T instead of TB. Okay, so a very important thing is the equation formula, root of 2e by t. Just observe, it is not eb, it is e by t cos of 2 pi fct plus 2I minus 1 into pi by 4. So what is I? For the first symbol you substitute I as 1, for the second symbol substitute I as 2, third 3, fourth 4. So therefore then the equation would, you are going to get as root of 2e by t cos 2 pi fct plus pi by 4 for the first symbol. For the second symbol, root of 2e by t cos 2 pi fct plus 3 pi by 4. For the third symbol, equation is root of 2e by t cos 2 pi fct plus 5 pi by 4, so on and so forth. So this is how a QPSK signal would be represented. We are not writing four equations, we are representing all the four equations in a single equation as given, as shown over here. So now all of you know the very basic formula, cos of a plus b. It is cos a cos b minus sin a sin b. So it has been expressed over here. If you observe equation number 9, it is what we are doing is we are expanding the formula. Cos of a plus b is equal to cos a cos b minus sin a sin b. So you are able to see that expression. Okay. Another way of writing. Why we are writing the equation in this format? Because the aim is the geometrical representation of QPSK. Remember, in this module, the any modulation technique you are going to study, three important things. First, you are going to study. One is the geometrical representation. The second one is the probability of error of the system. The third one is transmitter and receiver block diagram. So these are the three important topics under any modulation technique. So we know what is the equation. The next thing is we are supposed to express in the form of geometrical representation or point format. So any signal, we know that any signal could be expressed as linear combination of orthonormal basis functions. So therefore, what I have done is SI of t could be expressed as what? Linear combination of basis functions. So linear combination means it should be expressed in terms of term 1 plus term 2 plus term 3, so on and so forth. So that to aid that type of representation, I am taking the SI of t signal in this particular format. Okay, so let me move further. So for the SI of, now we will just come. How will we start finding out? First, in order to have geometrical representation, first we should have the basis functions, basic thing. That is the step number 1. You need to identify the basis. Okay, then you express the signal in the form of linear combinations of basis functions. Later, you extract the vector notation. Then you can exactly plot the point form. So we will do it again. So for this particular set of signals, how many signals are present? Don't observe that this is a single signal. What does this equation 9 represents? It represents 4 different signals. Substitute I is equal to 1, you will get S1 of t, I is equal to 2, S2 of t, 3, S3 of t, 4, S4 of t. So you are having 4 signals in your hand, which is represented by equation 9. For this set of 4 equations, how many basis functions? Remember, if you employ the Gram-Schmidt orthogonalization procedure, you would be getting 2 basis functions. So the first basis function is root of 2 by t into cos 2 pi fct, and the second basis function is root of 2 by t into sine of 2 pi fct. Okay, so there are 2 basis functions, phi 1 of t and phi 2 of t. Okay, so how can you guess how many number of basis functions are present in any modulation signals? Means just observe this particular expression of the signals. Now from this very observation, you are having 2 terms, therefore blindly one can say that it is having 2 basis functions. Okay, so one thing, if you understand from this signal set, for all signals S1, S2, S3, S4, this term is constant. That is root of 2e by t cos 2 pi fct would be constant. So that could be the basis function. And over here, minus root 2e by t into sine 2 pi fct would be constant for all values of I. So these could be the basis functions. This is my intuition. So as per the calculation, the first basis function is given as root of 2 by t cos 2 pi fct. Second basis function is root of 2 by t sin 2 pi fct. So why I have told this is, don't try to remember the or mug up the basis equation. Just extract the basis equation from the equation number 9 or from the SI of t expression. So what would be the first basis function? Basis functions are always same for any signals. So therefore, root of 2e by t into cos 2 pi fct is one basis, and the other basis is root of 2e by t into sin 2 pi fct. That would be the second basis. So we can understand like this. So now, since once we obtain the basis equations, then one can express the signals in terms of basis functions as follows. How? Si of t is equal to, how can you express? Just observe. I will show the equation number 9 again, and you know the basis functions. You try to observe. So uh, a very simple thing, root of 2 by t into cos 2 pi fct is the basis. So what is left out? Root e into cos 2i minus 1 into pi by 4 is left. Over here, root e into sin 2i minus 1 pi by 4 is left out. So from this equation number 9, using this basis equations, I can have the equations as follows. That is, Si of t is equal to root e into cos 2i minus 1 into pi by 4 phi 1 of t minus root e sin 2i minus 1 sin 2i minus 1 pi by 4 into phi 2 of t. Okay, so Si1 and Si2, now you are with this. So then all of us know signals could be expressed as follows: Si1 into phi 1, that is what all of you know this. Si of t is equal to Si1 into phi 1 of t plus Si2 into phi 2 of t. What is this Si1? This coefficients are called as Si1. So what is this? This coefficient is called as Si2. So therefore, it has been written Si1 is equal to root e into cos 2i minus 1 into pi by 4. Si2 is equal to minus root e into sine of 2i minus 1 into pi by 4. Remember, signal expressed as linear combinations of basis functions. What are Si1 and Si2? The coefficients of the basis. So that has been written. So once you are once you are done with expressing the signal in terms of basis functions, okay, and you know the coefficients of the basis functions, then it is very easy to put the signal in the vector form or the point form So how do you put the vector in the signal or the point form? It is as follows. You know what is the value of Si1 and Si2. Currently, you cannot remember this equation. So it will that will come by practice. You read it again and again, so you can remember those particular equations. Just follow the lecture. Si1 and Si2 are the coefficients. So the values are as follows. Okay, once you are with this, then you can write the signal in the form of a vector. Just observe Si1 and Si2. How many such Si's are possible? There are 4 Si's. 4 Si's are possible. Okay, that is S1, S2, S3, and S4. Okay, what is the value of Si1? Again, for your information, I have written Si1 is equal to this, and Si2 is written as shown in the figure. So once you are with the vector representation, you can directly write that particular thing in the form of a point. Now we will try to develop this diagram. It has already been written. So what I will do is I will explain how this diagram has been obtained. Okay, so all of you know we want to transmit 4 messages or 4 symbols or 4 debits. For each of the debit, one signal is being associated. So debit number 1 is represented with the number 1, 2 debit I is equal to 2, the third debit I is equal to 3, fourth debit I is equal to 4. So what is the signal associated with this? This is S1 of t, S2 of t, S3 of t, and S4 of t. The phases of the signals are written over here. And what are the vector representations? S1, S2, S3, and S4. So this particular vector, what is the dimension of this vector? Let me also observe what is the dimension of the vector any Si. Si is having 2 dimension equal to 2. Why the dimension is equal to 2? I want to recall of the BPSK. Okay, so there also I am telling, here also I am telling, check how many number of basis functions. Total number of basis functions is equal to the total dimension. Since there are 2 basis functions, here the dimension of the vector or number of elements in the vector are 2. Therefore, you are going to get a 2-dimensional graph or 2-dimensional signal space diagram. Over here, you want to represent signal S1 of t or vector S1 in this diagram. How will you write? What is S1? It corresponds to debit 10. So if you substitute for I is equal to 1, you are going to get it as root of e by 2 minus root of E by 2. So this is the coordinates. So this is the coordinate of the first signal point. So anybody can say in which quadrant it is going to lie. It is going to lie in the fourth quadrant. So therefore, I have written message point M110. What does 10 represent? This represents the first message 10 or S1 or S1 of T. So this is the first message S1, S2, S3 and S4 or in terms of vector or in terms of message M1, M2, M3 and M4. Suppose you want to represent the debit 0 in the form of debit uh, 00 in the form. So what you are supposed to write, S2 is equal to S21 comma S22. You substitute I as 2. So what you are going to get, minus root E by 2 minus root E by 2. You should substitute over here. Then you are going to get this values. ಈ values ಹೇಗೆ ಬಂತು? SI. You need to for first signal S1 is equal to, okay, S11, S12. Here instead of I you should put 1. So then you got root E by 2 minus root E by 2. For the second one, 0, 0. What is the value of I? You should put it as 2. So S2 is equal to, once you substitute on I is equal to 2, you are going to get minus root E by 2 minus root E by 2. You have plotted. Similarly, you have plotted 0, 1 and 1, 1. And this would be the constellation diagram. Just in this entire graph, you observe only the following things. What is that? What's that? M1, M2, M3 and M4. You need not bother about this dotted lines. It is just a connectivity line for the sake of displaying. So for some other calculations it has been shown, but what is required for you is the points. So for each and every point, then what you are supposed to do is, remember one thing, whenever you are plotting any particular point, then immediately you should assign a boundary for that. Why are you supposed to assign a boundary? Because during the reception or during the signal detection, what are you supposed to do? During the signal detection, you are supposed to plot the received signal point, and depending upon the position of the received signal, you are going to decide which signal has been transmitted to aid that particular process. So around every message we will have a decision boundary. So just observe, for the message point 1, the decision boundary is entire fourth quadrant. For the message 2, the decision boundary is entire third quadrant. For message 3 is the second. For message 4 is the first quadrant. So this is how they have developed the geometrical representation for the signal. Okay, geometrical representation, then the boundaries. So with this particular knowledge, one can analyze the performance of the system, that is the probability of error. And another important thing to be noted over here is, just observe how the debits are being assigned from one debit to another debit. That is 10 to 00, there is only 1 bit difference. Just observe, from 00 to 01, there is 1 bit difference. From 00 to 11, there is 1 bit difference. For every consecutive bits, there is 1 bit difference. So this type of representation is called gray code representation, and this is a convention followed. And along with the convention, there is another rule to write the symbols in this format to have the lesser effect of the noise, that we will see in the later classes. Okay, this is what we have represented. So let me revise the class. So QPSK means it is a phase shift keying technique or phase modulation technique where you are working with 4 symbols. So for each symbol, one waveform is associated. Each waveform differs in phase. So the first symbol phase is pi by 4. Second symbol phase of the signal is 3 pi by 4. Third is 5. Fourth is 7 pi by 4. So the signal is being represented in terms of basis functions. In this particular thing, we are having two basis functions which are shown in equation 10 and 11. Later, with the help of this basis, the original QPSK signal is expressed in terms of basis functions or linear combination of basis functions. From this equation number 12, we are going to represent the vector form of the signal. How? Extract the coefficients of the basis functions and write over here. We have taken, and any signal would be expressed like this: Si is equal to Si1 into Si1 comma Si2, which has been shown, and also the geometrical representations. The geometrical representation for each value of the symbol, for each symbol, what are the coordinates, that also has been shown along with the calculations. So how to do calculations and all has also been shown over here, and the geometrical representations also. So with this we will stop today's discussion, and tomorrow we are going to study about QPSK transmitters and receivers. So to understand this QPSK transmitter and receiver, you are supposed to know the basic equations. So the basic equations, what is the very basic equation of QPSK? From this equation only, we are going to derive this block diagram. This block diagram has not been simply written, it would be derived from the basic equations. And all of you know, polar non-return to zero, what does that mean? What would be the use of demultiplexers? All would be explained by taking one example. So that we are going to do in the tomorrow's class. So I am stopping the screen sharing, and I am closing the meeting. Yes, I am closing the meeting.
Okay, sir.
Thank you.